Hello and welcome to the Bowling University studio from the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. I'm Gerald Morrow, your host for this episode. Thanks for joining us. If you join in the Profit Break for the first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. Give us 15 minutes and you'll be on your way to improving your profitability. On today's show, we're going to talk with Beth Standlee, who will be one of our presenters at Bowl Expo. Beth is the founder and CEO of TrainerTainment. She's also the author of People Buy From People, How to Connect in an Impersonal World. Today, she's joining us to share a sneak peek about her session, Everyone is Selling or Unselling Every Day. Beth, thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited that you're going to be with us at Bowl Expo. So, welcome back to the Profit Break.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here. Always happy to be in this beautiful studio here in Arlington, Texas. Go BPAA.
I see you got your TrainerTainment blue. We got the background going for you as well.
You do. Nice.
So let's jump right in. You say everyone is selling and unselling. So what do you mean by that?
Well, I'll tell you, everyone in the center has the unique opportunity to engage or not engage with the guest. And I really feel like that has to be intentional, it has to be purposeful. And I think that I'm not sure that our guest service people understand the big influence that they have. You know, it's been interesting with all of the challenge with employees and the big message is, how do we create a frictionless experience? And so for the lady who wrote How to Connect Personally in an Impersonal World and that People Buy From People, it's a hard vision for me to think that we still won't have people interaction, because I think we still will. We may automate systems so the customer that wants to help themselves can help themselves. And so that should mean that our employees can ramp up their own guest service experience, or that's what I'm hoping happens. And I don't think there's any in between. I think you're either doing a really good job and helping somebody decide, I want more of that, or you're not. You know, because even if you're performing mediocre and not offering an upsell or not being engaged and interested in how much time can you stay and play today and those sorts of things, I think that's potentially an unselling moment.
Interesting. I know we definitely are in the people business in the bowling space and the entertainment industry, so it's a big deal. But like you said, there's some technology that can help us.
Sure.
But kind of going back to everybody is selling or unselling. Yeah. So in a bowling center, I have a mechanic.
Yes.
How is he or she in the back of the house? Most of the time I don't want them up front, but how could they be selling or unselling our business?
I think that's a great question. And the way that I would answer that is, if they do have the opportunity to be up front, they need to be pleasant. And they need to be willing to interact with the guest, even if they don't want to. I understand that a mechanic is most willing to interact with machines, and that's what I want them to do. And to that end, they're unselling if the machines don't work. Because what happens in a breakdown, either on the lanes or with games, or if a light's missing, the breakdown there is a guest comes in, and use the games, for example. One game is down, you know what a guest says? None of their games work. The lanes never work when I'm at ABC. Well, that's not true. If you have 30 lanes and one doesn't work, 29 did. But I don't know that the mechanic understands their impact on the next sale and the next experience and the return visit and the way the guest talks about us outside of our center. It's huge.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, especially in the day and age now where a lot of locations are doing time bowling.
Right.
So if that machine's down
for 2 minutes,
the customer feels like they get gypped.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
I could see now how a mechanic is involved in that sales process as well. So when we talk about sales, I'm not a salesperson myself, so I freely admit this, but Do you have to have kind of a sales type culture built in the center, or is this just, hey, salespeople are salespeople, God love them, God bless them, but some of us are just not one of those?
It's so interesting that you say that you're not a salesperson, because certainly I hear that a lot, especially when I'm talking about you're either selling or unselling. And the first thing people will say is, well, Beth, I'm not good at that. That's not what I do. But I would challenge that, because everybody makes a living by selling something. Let's talk about somebody that works the counter. Do you think that they're selling or unselling?
Well, I'd hope they'd be selling, and I hope they'd be guiding the guest to the best package, or adding on a laser tag or something like that.
Did you ever work the front counter in your day?
Oh, I did, and trust me, I wasn't good at it.
But
I probably did more unselling than selling.
No, I doubt that that's true. But you would want to pay attention to that, and I think from a culture perspective, I think that this lesson of your selling or your unselling is certainly something that has to be built into the culture. So every single person could ask themselves, right, did I sell or did I unsell? So that's an easy step that they could take. I also think that a lot of people, if they've got culture built in their facility, if they have core values listed, anybody that I've seen that does have core values listed, they say something like, we believe in being in service to each other. We believe in creating great memories. Do you not think that a great memory is a selling experience? A great bad memory is what?
An unselling.
An unselling experience. And so I think culturally, if you're not saying out loud what you believe in by having core values and things like that, that's probably step one. And maybe part of the message in those core values is, hey, we're all either selling or unselling. Everything you do here in this center will help a guest. Every action you take, every reaction you make will help a guest know, I'm coming back and I'm bringing my friends, or I'm about to go write you up on social media and tell you how bad everybody is. And I would say anybody in between, any of those things that happen in between, and there's probably more of that than not, isn't good enough. And so, like, from a culture perspective, if we could get to the everybody is selling space, so that we would know, yes, I created a great memory. Yes, I absolutely provide great service. Yes, I did something that could motivate that guest to go say something good about me online. Like, if you can put that to the front of everyone's mind and talk about it and reinforce it and catch it when they're doing it, oh my gosh. You would have a culture like none other. One of this, I'll tease the Bowl Expo. You need to come to my session. Let me tease this. Some of you that have heard me may have heard this, but I always want people to do a 7th frame checkup, because our customer service people, our porters, our trainers, or whatever you call them, they don't know how to go engage and interact with a customer. But if I say, Gerald, I know you're not a sales dude, but I know you're a really cool, nice person. You're very good to visit with people. You're such a kind person. And what I want you to do is I want you to watch, and every time any lane is on the 7th frame, I'd love you to just go down there and find out, are you having fun? Would you like to stay longer? Gosh, you look thirsty. Can I get you a beer? Like, that's an easy tip. There'll be at least 10 of those. Be sure you come to my session. Okay, go ahead.
So that is a great thing. I mean, I guess it really gets you out of that mindset, like you talked about earlier. Everybody, it's their actions, not so much the whole sales pitch when you start thinking about the wording.
Right.
So when we talk about sales, again, it has that stigma. When I think of sales, I think of the slimy used car salesman.
Right.
And so as a person that was working the counter, I don't want to sell people. Sales is not my thing. So how do you kind of get your team to get around that stigma?
So in my book, I write that great selling is about helping others. And I don't think that I have ever felt like, I certainly have great sales technique and know a lot about selling, and there are easy things that we can teach about, do you want fries with that?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, those are kind of common, but I get what you're saying. In the book, I use the word smarmy. What did you say?
Slimy,
yeah.
sleazy.
And it irritates me to no end that salespeople have that reputation, but certainly some sales have that. I'm not talking about those kinds of sales. I believe great selling is about helping other people, and when people have come to do recreation, they have come to get away from the misery of the day, a test they got to take, a parent that's in a hospital, or all the crazy stuff that happens outside. They came in your center for recreation or recreation. And the best that we can do for them is to help them. And I think that's what great selling is all about.
Awesome. So it's not really about selling a product. It's about just helping and guiding. And as you said earlier, being in service.
That's right.
So.
That's right. That kind of attitude creates that high profit, that high profit atmosphere in your center for the owner, for your staff. And listen, your customer wants to have a really high profit experience and memory. They came to give you their money, and they want the most for it. And the best we can do is to help them as much as we can.
Awesome. So some great tips. Beth, thank you for joining us today. I know you gave us one tip about the seventh inning checkup.
Or
seventh frame. I'm used to baseball. I'm a baseball fan. But seventh frame checkup, you said you're going to have at least 10 of those.
At least 10 of them.
At Bowl Expo. So definitely thank you for being here today. We look forward to having you at Bowl Expo.
I'm excited to be there.
Awesome. So if you definitely don't want to miss Beth's Bowl Expo session coming up Tuesday, June 27th in Orlando, Florida. Everyone is selling or unselling every day. So as we wrap up another edition of the Profit Break, remember that when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. If you are ready to start improving your profitability, you can reach us anytime at education@bpaa.com. This episode, as well as all of our previous Profit Break episodes, are available 24/7 for you and your team at bowlinguniversity.net. Plus, new episodes are available every month, so mark your calendar, watch your email, join us on Facebook to hear about the latest episode. Until then, I'm Gerald Morrow, and do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next time.